Welcome to the Brave Little Podcast, coming from Dallas, Texas, Los Angeles, and Sacramento, California. Here's Skylar Teo, Aaron Alvarado, and David Stauffer.
Welcome to the Brave Little Podcast, our Patreon people. It's Aaron Alvarado and myself.
Hey, David, what's going on, my
Dude,
friend?
Good, man. I like these Patreon episodes because they feel intimate. We don't have a lot of Patreon subscribers, but we have enough that we're proud of them. We're grateful for them. And it's kind of like a little group meetup here.
Yeah, we don't need a lot of Patreon subscribers.
No, we don't.
I think that people get greedy. I mean,
look.
If you ever go on the Patreon website, you can see, like the people that have the most donator or most patrons is what they're called.
Mm-hmm.
Some are like 12,000, 15,000 patrons. We have 9, and that's all we need.
You know what? I know the names of all 9 of them.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why we only have 9 is that I actually screen them. I don't think anyone should be able to be a patron of this. I think they need to earn it. I think they need to really have a level of loyalty. And the 9 that we have are people who have been listening to us.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's actually harder to get on our patron list than it is to get a gun in the United States.
It is, yep. But I will say, in the state of Utah, if you do sign up for a bank account with Zions Bank, you actually can be a Patreon listener as well. I think that was Michael Moore's Bowling for Columbine. It was in Utah, where they had the whole bank. If you open a checking account, you get a gun.
That's awesome. And Utah is actually open carry, right? It's open
Probably.
carry. It is.
Probably.
I know that because I was setting you up and you were supposed to say yes. So thank you for that. I feel like Westbrook right now. I tossed you the ball.
Oh man, I can't wait.
But so here's my point. Jason Chaffetz.
Oh, yes.
Chaffetz?
Yeah, Chaffetz.
Okay, Chaffetz. He just did a big interview, long form interview with on the radio up there.
Yeah, in KSL.
Yeah, and one of the things that he talked about, I was reading this, and one of the things he talked about was how scared he was because he left the town hall and he saw people carrying guns in the parking lot. And that just blew my mind.
He said that?
He said that. One of the things that frightened him was that when he left the town hall, there were masked men roaming the parking lot that were armed.
I'm surprised that he would admit being scared to people having guns.
Yeah, right? It's really, really funny.
All of those, by the way, all those people, the masked people with guns, paid liberals is what those are.
Yeah, well, they were from California.
Of course.
The thing is, they weren't even there to talk to him. They just wanted to celebrate the fact that it was open carry.
Yeah.
It's like they just wanted to carry a gun out in public.
Oh, yeah. So Utah is open carry. And it's funny when you see the people like that, they always make a big emphasis on showing where their gun is. It's always in a place that's probably uncomfortable, but very visible. And they want everyone to know.
Of course. And you contrast that with California where you can't even conceal. I mean, even the police here, they're not allowed to show their guns. Oh. So, yeah, they leave them in the car. By law, they're supposed to lock them in the trunk.
Wow.
Thank you, Ronald Reagan, by the way.
Great governor, great president.
But that's the political talk. That's the extent of our political talk.
Yeah. I would love to get into the speculation of why Chaffetz is retiring early, quote unquote retiring, but I won't. We'll not for our Patreon people. You deserve better.
No way.
We will represent you way better than Jason Chaffetz represents his constituents. So let's jump into just a couple quick movies here. And then I want to talk TV talk. And then we're going to end with talking Harden versus Westbrook versus Kawhi versus Steph versus LeBron versus Isaiah.
No Steph.
You saw a movie we've already reviewed, Kong Skull Island. I saw
sir.
a movie this weekend we haven't reviewed and probably won't dedicate a full episode to, and that's Gifted with Chris Evans and Octavia Spencer.
I don't know anything about that.
So
what's Gifted?
Yeah, so Gifted is it's like a small film. You can tell it's the type of thing that Chris Evans really wanted to do in between these Captain America films. Just some small story where it's about he has his niece, a 7-year-old girl. He is the guardian over her because his sister, who is this brilliant mathematician, like one of the most brilliant minds, she had committed suicide and left the care of her daughter to Chris Evans. And the daughter is insanely intelligent. But he promised his sister that he would raise her in the public school system and have a normal life because his sister didn't. Like, their parents are very uppity and yada, yada, yada. And so, anyway, essentially the grandma comes into play and thinks that the 7-year-old daughter is so gifted that she needs to go away to this like special school and yada yada yada. But Chris Evans is like, no, that's not what my sister wanted. And so the movie is about a court battle between custody. I know it sounds terribly boring.
Oh man, that's.
But it's a small story just about this little girl that's incredibly smart and gifted and terrific actress. She did a really good job. We talk all the time on the pod about how hard it is to get good kid actors. But it was pretty funny. Chris Evans was playing, Captain America, a more damaged version of Captain America. Octavia Spencer is their neighbor, and I generally like everything she does. But it's a small film. I think it's in terms of reviews, it got barely rotten. I think it's like in the 50s, or maybe it's in the 60s. Maybe it's in the 50s. I don't know. Honestly, it's a type of movie that's like a Lifetime movie. And your parents will love it. Your grandparents will love it even more. I know my parents saw it and loved it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I'm probably never going to see it again. But it's a nice little heartwarming tale.
So if I go over to visit my mom on Mother's Day and I want to take her to a movie, should I take her to Gifted?
Take her to Gifted. She'll definitely like Gifted.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's a pertinent question because the reason that I saw Kong Skull Island, not to change the subject too quickly here,
please,
but the only reason I saw it was because I went to go visit my mom and we needed a movie to watch.
Oh, so is your mom a big moviegoer?
She loves movies. Yeah, so my mom is the reason that I watch movies today.
Okay.
Or that I got into movies because she is a huge movie buff.
Really?
Yeah, growing up, I mean, she was constantly watching movies.
What's her favorite? Does she have like a genre that she loves? Is she? Would you consider her does she lean like cinephile in terms of her taste, or is she like more like my parents who will watch anything and love anything?
Yeah, she's much more that speed.
Okay.
So, she likes classic movies. She does like some of the classics, but she has no problem watching a modern film and loving it.
Yeah.
She does like the sappy movies. I mean, sometimes we'll go over there and visit her, and she'll tell us about this movie that she just saw, and like we have to watch it.
Yeah.
And she'll put it on, and it's like this is a Lifetime movie.
This is
yeah. And it's that it's that level of movie, but she loves it.
Yeah.
So for her, it's more about like the sentimentality of it. I would say she gravitates more towards like family dramas than anything else.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, she just loves movies in general, and that's really where I got.
Amazing.
I got the bug started.
So we both got it from parents. The love of movies. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I definitely think so. All growing up, she had 2 jobs, and one of the jobs that she consistently worked was part-time at a movie theater. So when I was a kid, we couldn't afford to go to the movies, but she had the pass, so she could get us in to see anything. And that's how we watched all our movies in the theater.
I didn't know your mom worked at a movie theater.
She did, yeah. She worked at both a regular movie theater, like a cinema, and then also a drive-in. She was a cashier at a drive-in. Yeah, I learned how to drive at a drive-in. So we would go there during the summer, and she would have to get there early when no cars were there.
Right.
She would just let me take her car around. I learned how to drive there.
Wow.
I'm not sure that her manager appreciated a 15-year-old kid driving a car around the lot there, but who cares?
What's he gonna do?
No, nothing. He didn't do anything.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
so Gifted.
Yeah.
Gifted. Did you see it with who'd you see it with?
I saw it with my parents.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
so
that's
your parents
why. Yeah,
did see it and they liked it.
Yeah, it was that or The Promise.
Man,
which was we talked in the other pod about it, but a movie about the Armenian genocide. My parents like.
I think you made the right choice.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. My parents liked it both a lot. Like my parents love movies so much they will watch and go see anything. I think there's with a few caveats. My dad absolutely despises anything with Jodie Foster, so he will not watch Jodie Foster films. That's not a joke. He thinks she is the worst, and so we can't take him to anything with Jodie Foster.
What about young Jodie Foster, like Taxi Driver Jodie
Foster? So he does love Scorsese enough that honestly, I don't think he knows that's Jodie Foster because I've watched Taxi Driver with my dad, and he saw it when it first came out, and he always is like, yeah, that's the one with Robert De Niro. He's like kind of all messed up, huh? And I was like, yeah, that's Taxi Driver. He is all kinds of messed up, but he doesn't remember because it's just that bit part, that she has.
Right. Yeah.
But it's funny if that's the only main thing we got to keep. I think it's her and Kirstie Alley, as long as we keep my dad away. So for some reason, just really doesn't like those actresses. Anyway, Gifted was such a safe bet with my parents. But my parents bought every VHS cassette when anything came out. And to this day, I get a phone call every single Tuesday when the new DVDs are released. And my mom calls me to ask me, hey, is this movie worth buying? Is this movie worth buying? And she'll buy all the new movies, whether she's seen them or not.
Right.
And it became this thing where we're like, we just have this enormous DVD collection. And then, of course, eventually Blu-rays came out. And then it was like, well, which one should we do, Blu-ray versus DVD? And I had to show my mom how to do handbrake and, ripping.
Oh, wow.
And so I have an Amazon Cloud account that I pay $60 a year for, and it's unlimited storage. And so I showed my mom how to handbrake. And so now every single Tuesday, she buys DVDs. She doesn't get Blu-rays. She buys DVDs of the new movies, whether she's seen them or not, rips them, uploads it to the Amazon account, and then texts our family thread, here are the movies that are on the account. And I give the login to all my siblings, and they log in and they download the file. It's a whole system, the Stauffer family system. And then my mom goes and she has the satisfaction of putting those DVD cases back on the shelf to increase this growing library. I actually took a picture recently of it. You've been to my house, though I doubt you remember seeing it.
No, I remember.
But
I don't actually.
But those watching, that's one of the the shelves there. I think it's, and then there's some more stuff there. 2 different bookshelves.
That is a collection.
There's thousands of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Anyway, so yeah, Gifted, great for the parents. Definitely check it out when it hits Netflix or Lifetime channel or whatever. So you saw Kong Skull Island with your mom. I want to know first what your mom thought of it.
Yeah. So we went to go visit my mom last weekend, or maybe 2 weekends ago, and she lives out in the desert, basically.
Oh, where's she at?
She lives in Moreno Valley, which is like north of Riverside.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing to do out there. There's just really nothing to do. I mean, you can go shopping, but there's like a Walmart and a Target, or you can go to the movies. So, yeah. So we went and had dinner with her and her husband, and we looked at the movies that were playing, and basically the only things that were playing at the time that worked for us was Fast 8 and Kong Skull Island. So we decided to go to see Kong, and I would say, judging on her reaction after the movie, she loved it.
Oh,
she really did enjoy it.
Now, did you have low expectations going in? Now, I really loved the movie, but what were your thoughts going in?
I was torn because I wasn't sold on the trailer. I thought the trailer did a really bad job actually of selling the movie. They tried, but it wasn't indicative of what the final movie was. Sure. At least the way that I felt. But then I heard your review. I listened to that episode, and you had like effusive praise for it. Yeah. So I went with an open mind, and I will say that I was incredibly satisfied with that Kong movie. I highly recommend it for anyone. So.
And why so?
It's funny. This is of all the. I'm not a huge King Kong fan, but I've seen several movies, where he's the main character. And I would say with this one, they captured his power and kind of the fact that he had a personality better than any of the other Kong movies. I agree. And I would say this one is the first time that I actually felt myself rooting for him.
Yeah. The scene where the dude is in the river watching him, when he sits down and he pulls that octopus thing or whatever out, and he's looking at his wounds, and you really start to feel for Kong.
He felt like a person.
Yeah.
He felt like a human being, and unlike any of the other movies that I've seen him in, I really have to hand it to the digital team that worked on the effects, because they made him seem real. Yeah. It was really incredible. I thought he was probably my second favorite part of the movie. Number one was John C. Reilly.
Wasn't he great?
Oh man,
he was so good.
I had reservations when I saw him in the trailer, just because some potential tonal issues.
Oh, yeah.
But once you see the movie, he absolutely he sells it.
He nails it.
He is the linchpin for the entire movie. Without him, it doesn't work.
Yeah, he's crucial.
He was so great. Every scene that he was in, I found myself either smiling or laughing or just rooting for him in general. So I love John C. Reilly. I love the way that they portrayed Kong. Just the movie in general was really fun. I mean, it was lighthearted, but it also felt like there were perilous moments.
Well, I love that no one got their hero's ending. Like they kept dying in funny ways that were like,
Exactly.
I guess last thing on this, the intro of Kong's character with the helicopters, with the Apocalypse Now backdrop, was just one of the most spectacular sequences of the film. They nailed it. I loved it.
They absolutely nailed it. I will say I love the Vietnam setting, but the score, the soundtrack, felt played out.
I know.
We've heard all of those songs used in Vietnam movies before.
It's very true.
I mean, they did that on purpose, obviously, to make us, to set the audio setting as well,
right?
To place us in that mood. But for me, it didn't work. I just felt like those were so many rehashes. I didn't need to hear them again.
So, Kong Skull Island is something I've been telling you to go see, and you finally went and saw it, which is great. Another thing I've been begging you to watch is The People versus O.J. Simpson. Now that it's on, I think, Netflix.
It sure is. It's on Netflix, yeah.
And so now people are finally discovering it that didn't watch it. I watched this episode to episode as it aired on, FX.
FX, yeah.
Yeah, there's hokey stuff with the Kardashians, but that aside, this is such a great season of television.
I have to apologize to you because
yes.
I was not a believer. And after sitting through all, I think it's 10 or 12 episodes.
Yeah.
10 maybe.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of that series.
Did you binge it?
I did binge it, but I watched it over like 3 days.
3 days, okay, yeah.
So
that's a binge.
It's incredible. It was absolutely incredible.
Who was your MVP?
Oh, man, there are so many great parts.
It could be Courtney B. Vance as Johnny Cochran. The guy who plays Darden.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the actor that played Chris Darden. I mean, he nailed it. The what's her name? Sarah.
Marsha Clark.
Yeah, Marsha Clark. The actress who. Sarah Paulson.
Sarah Paulson plays Marsha Clark. Yeah. That's what I meant to say.
Oh man, she was incredible.
Very good.
She was so good. All the scenes with her, man.
The hair, even the stuff around the hair and her appearance, and you forget
it's heartbreaking.
Those things actually happened.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what I was telling my wife when I was talking about. I was trying to get her to watch it next. She was looking for a series to watch. Like, you got to watch this. And I was telling her, when I was a kid, I watched the trial every day. Like,
totally.
I was hugely. There was a point in my life where I thought about being a lawyer. Like, I thought about I might want to be a lawyer, after school and get my law degree. But then I went to high school and I was like, nah, I'm not interested in being a lawyer. But it started here. Like, it started when I watched the OJ trial.
Totally.
I was riveted. Every day after school, I was sitting there in front of the TV watching about OJ. And a lot of the details I had forgotten. A lot of the evidence stuff, a lot of the stuff that the defense brought up especially.
Oh, yeah.
And then seeing it in the series, it brought back all these memories.
Oh, yeah.
The series was so great, man.
I don't know about you, but for me, I was constantly Googling after an episode because there'd be a handful of things I thought, there's no way they actually did that. Like, they didn't go into OJ's house and put up a bunch of portraits of African-American people or like an artwork and whatever. Like, there's no way they actually did that. They did.
It wasn't even African-American. It was straight African. They put up African art.
That's really what, yeah, you're right. like that happens, right? I'm like, okay, that the juror didn't actually give a Black Power salute to OJ on his way out. No way. What?
I didn't know that until after the fact.
Oh, I didn't believe it at all. When I saw it in the show, I was like, oh, this is just kind of Hollywood. And then I of course, I Google it. That exactly happened. There's a few things certainly they took liberty with, but I'm just surprised how much of the crazy stuff they nailed. The Furman stuff was riveting.
Oh, man. I found out the scene that they show Furman where he's cleaning the glass case and there's like a Nazi medal inside. It was probably dramatized because there's no confirmation.
I think so.
That he actually had Nazi memorabilia.
Yeah. Right.
But that's totally believable.
It is kind of believable.
What I really question is the stuff about the jurors. That
was my next question is if you like that episode, the episode that covers the jurors.
Man, I just got through with sitting in jury duty for 3 days, and I cannot imagine what they went through to be sequestered for, I think they said 9 months, 10 months.
The one woman lost her mind.
Yeah. And that's what I'm wondering.
If that
how
actually
much
happened
that is
that
true.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we know that she was dismissed or whatever happened, but it's hard to know the exact reason why.
Right. Yeah. So there's just so many. Every episode there was something that left me. It made me have more questions and made me want to look into it even more. And Cuba Gooding Jr. was fantastic as Juice.
Who would have thought?
Oh man,
looks nothing like him.
Yeah. So he was the big question mark for me. Cuba, and then David Schwimmer as Kardashian. Yeah. But they were both great. Yeah,
I agree. And John Travolta, I thought even John Travolta, Nathan Lane. I mean, the whole cast, top to bottom, was just. And John Travolta was so. I thought at first this is John Travolta kind of hamming it up, but no, he kind of got the essence of. From forgetting the lawyer's name.
Yep. Shapiro.
Yeah.
Right.
He got
Robert
he
Shapiro.
got the essence of him.
Mm-hmm. Totally. I think he nailed it. Man, what a scumbag F. Lee Bailey is, by the way.
Oh my goodness. and another thing I had to Google. Totally true.
Yeah. Completely true.
Oh my gosh.
Completely true. You know, one of the first scenes where I had like a jaw-dropping moment was when F. Lee Bailey was saying he was saying something about. He said something completely racist.
Yeah.
And like right in front of Johnny Cochran, and the look that Courtney B. Vance gives him is just like perfect. He just completely nailed it. Oh man, there's just so many.
Yeah.
Courtney B. Vance was amazing.
Incredible.
He's brilliant. He was brilliant. So.
So yeah.
If you haven't seen, if you need a series to watch, go watch this immediately.
That's on Netflix. So that's available to everybody. Now a couple new shows that we love. That have just gone back on air, so aren't on Netflix yet, but
they will be though.
But they will be, and past seasons are, and that's Silicon Valley and Fargo. You want to do Silicon Valley first?
Yeah, let's do Silicon Valley first.
I just finished watching it just a minute ago.
So initial reactions, how do you feel?
So this is like, so I work in tech. Mm-hmm. And there's this level of, and I know a lot of people have made a lot about Silicon Valley, just nailing the funny parts of tech. It can't be overstated how much they get it. The relationship of the coders to the business people, the different personas and scenes that they have, especially the rich people, the investors, from the weird ones to the bro ones to the, it is unreal. And look, I think these people, from all the way from Kumail to T.J. Miller to even Thomas Middleditch, they nail these personas, and it's so funny. It was like, honestly, starting this episode was like unwrapping a Christmas gift that had been sitting on the tree. I was so excited, and it delivered. Guilfoyle is my favorite character in the whole show. He's just the best.
I wish that guy would do more stuff.
Yeah, Martin Starr. I mean, he was in Freaks and Geeks, is what he got. When he was younger, what he got famous for. But like, he's not in very much. He is.
No.
I get the sense that he's kind of like Guilfoyle in real life.
Did you ever see the TV series Party Down?
No.
Oh man, you have to go back and watch it. Martin Starr, like, it's called Party Down.
Okay.
And it's all about these like semi out of work actors who have to do catering on the side to make ends meet. And it's Adam Scott. It's what's her name from Glee, the lady. Jane.
You start Jane.
I can't think of her name.
Oh yeah, Jane Lynch.
Yeah, that's it.
Jane Lynch.
Adam Scott, Jane Lynch, Martin Starr, and Lizzie Kaplan, and it's an amazing cast. And the
network
series
was it on? What was it?
It was on Starz.
Starz.
It was a Starz original series.
I'll check it out.
And I think it was two or three seasons. It's really, really funny, hilarious. So Martin Starr plays a really good part in that as well. So check that one out.
I'll say this: one of the highlights, a couple highlights for me in this episode. One was the Stephen Tobolowsky's character, and the guy, the Hooli CEO, Gavin Belson. Yeah. They have the conversation on the chartered flight about whether to drop him off in Jacksonville first or stop in the Bay Area. Was that what it was? And the sheer ego and ridiculousness of what they were talking about, and the fact that Gavin couldn't let go of the fact that he was wrong about the way the flights, like, that whole thing was so funny to me and not that far from reality.
No, I feel like that conversation has been had before.
Oh yeah, because these are major egos you're dealing with. But this is the thing. I mentioned working at a tech company. I've had to set up some events for the Utah Tech Council, the Utah kind of tech community. We've had these big events that the company I work for will help sponsor and be a part of. And there was one a couple years ago that I had to meet I had to contact and reach out to a bunch of area CEOs of tech companies and get people scheduled to speak and be in this. Part of it was to be in this promo video I was shooting. And there's a couple CEOs that are, and I'm not going to say their names, partly because some of them may have actually invested in our own company at some point, so that's why I won't name any names. But they're CEOs of billion-dollar tech companies. And there is one that is just like Russ Hanneman.
Oh, man.
A less vulgar version in terms of explaining, but every other way, it is Russ Hanneman. The most bro-y. Yeah. It is unbelievable. And these people, you're like, how did you get to wear this?
Well, apparently Hanneman was supposed to be like a Cuban composite with someone else.
Was he?
Yeah. I don't think Mark Cuban is that bro-y, but apparently he has elements that are like very similar.
The guy I'm talking about is pretty dang close to Russ Hanneman. Like pretty dang
hilarious.
Close. And then Gavin Belson, there's another one that really reminds me of Gavin Belson. And another $1 billion is unicorns. And it cracks me up seeing these. Of course, these are caricatures that are on the more extreme side of things, but the fact that they're not that far from reality is really great.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was a great first episode.
It was.
Like to really just really kind of like get us back up to speed. There's some really funny parts overall, and I'm really looking forward to
you said Guilfoyle had the line of the episode.
I think you did.
Is it the one about the leader, spoken like a true leader?
No, for me it was just a throwaway line that he called Kumail the Karachi Kid.
Okay. His whole line to Kumail was that whole sequence when he's like, "Please let me be the CEO of Pied Piper," and then he's like, "Spoken like a true leader." And then the whole sequence after that, everything he said is pretty funny. Without going into spoilers, I guess. Lastly, Fargo. Now, you and I are big fans of Fargo. Season 1 was incredible. Season 2, in my opinion, is a masterpiece season of television.
Yeah, somehow it was even better than season 1.
It was definitely better than season 1.
I don't know how they did it.
It's unbelievable. You can watch it without watching season 1. I mean, it's loosely tied because it has to do with characters that are in season 1, but only it tells their story from, back in time. But you really don't need to have seen season 1. So
nope.
if you're very choosy and you don't have time, just go right into season 2 and it's fine. Fargo season 2 is a masterpiece season. It is.
I agree wholly. And I liked season 1, didn't love it, but season 2 I absolutely fell in love with it.
Yeah, so good. Patrick Wilson, Ted Danson, everything going on in there is
Kirsten Dunst.
Oh, Kristen and Jesse Plemons.
Yeah.
Their whole story was crazy. So
I had high hopes coming into season 3
because we got Ewan McGregor. I mean, they're getting I guess some bigger names: Ewan McGregor and Elizabeth Winstead, and Scoot McNairy, who he's an Argo.
Well, he's actually in one of my other favorite shows. It's called *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Oh yeah, *Halt and Catch Fire*. That's right. He's one of the main characters.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that series.
That's right, you are. I watched the first season. I need to get back into it.
First season's pretty good.
Because it tapered off. I didn't love first season. It was okay.
Yeah, no. I think I like season 2 the best.
Okay.
But, that's just me.
So, Fargo season 3's got Ewan McGregor playing 2 characters, brothers. And they look drastically different. One of them, of course, he has an incredible amount of makeup. It's knowing that they're not going to be able to top season 2, and knowing that even season 1, I like season 1 maybe a little more than you did. They've got a high bar to really live up to here. But Noah Hawley is a pretty brilliant creative mind. Were you satisfied with the first episode?
I liked where they're going.
Okay.
I wasn't blown away by it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think I like where they're going.
Well, so this is the thing about both Fargo seasons so far, and this played true for the third season, is the first episode is the lighting of the fuse that ends in the explosion, and the rest of the season is dealing with the aftermath of that explosion. And that could be more explosions or whatever it might be.
Right.
But the main event that just kicks everything off happens in that first episode, right? And you better believe it's going to involve some people dying.
Yeah, that's the great thing they do, right?
Yeah.
So they one of the keys that you can always depend on with Fargo is that you have the main character who is in over his head. Basically, he gets mixed up with organized crime. He's usually dumber than he thinks he is. And then you have the bad. What I love about what they've done so far with Fargo is the bad guys, the villains, are insane.
Yeah,
like they are so scary. They're
completely
frightening.
crazy.
Yeah, so you actually have to really fear them. So I love that so far, and I think that they're gonna hopefully continue that trend with season 3. We just don't know yet; it's too early.
But I agree that I like where it's headed. It certainly didn't knock my socks off, but like they set the pieces in play. We don't really know who the bad guys are yet, but there's one scene with the individual that made an investment, and it was terrifying.
Yes,
and nothing happened
absolutely.
in the scene. It was terrifying.
No, that's the great thing.
Yeah.
You see the look of panic on Ewan McGregor and I can't think of the other actor's name.
Michael Stuhlbarg.
Yeah, he's great.
He's really good. Yeah.
His I keep saying Minnesota, but it's Fargo.
But it takes place in Minnesota.
Dakota. Okay, so it does take place in Minnesota.
Yeah. So that's the weird thing. They call it Fargo, but the events are in Minnesota.
Okay. So yeah, his Midwestern accent is flawless.
He's very definitely better than Ewan McGregor's. Oh my gosh.
Ewan is trying, but
it's amazing how much his Scottish accent will come out at times where you're like, dude, you're off track here, man. You are off the rails on the accent.
No, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Me too.
So.
Me too. I trust Noah Hawley. I just really, really love the tone and aesthetic of this show. This just all of seasons, but like they've established that. Let's see where the characters go. But I'm really excited.
Yeah, as a series, it's pretty unique. I mean, there's nothing really like it on the air right now at this time.
Totally.
And the fact that it's a film adaptation to TV series, I mean, it by all accounts, it should suck.
Yeah, totally.
But it's really good.
It's the only good one I can think of.
MASH.
I guess Buffy the Vampire. Oh,
okay. Buffy's another one. No, I'm a huge fan of the show MASH, the TV series MASH. Movie is okay.
Yeah.
But I watched MASH reruns when I was a kid constantly, so... I don't know what that says about me. I was 11 years old and I was watching MASH.
That's incredible. I was watching Cheers. Didn't watch Frasier though. So we're at 30 minutes, so we should be wrapping this up. But I'll allow you one reason. Actually, just a minute here. You explain to me why the most selfish basketball player in the history of the NBA, Russell Westbrook, deserves to be the MVP over Harden, who has overperformed beyond anyone's expectations.
Well, there's no question the MVP is Westbrook.
There is a major question. I put him at fourth. No. He's fourth in my ranking.
No, there's two players on that entire roster. It's him and Steven Adams.
Oladipo?
Garbage.
No.
He's garbage.
He's very good. I would love having Oladipo.
I mean, he's the 10th man on the Lakers right now.
This is so. You and Skylar are Team Westbrook, though. Skylar has admitted recently that he's come to the Harden side because he just hates Houston so much. The fact is, look, what Westbrook has done in a singular performance over a season is incredible. You average a triple-double. It's so amazing. You got the 6th seed in the playoffs, and I'm sorry, we don't give MVPs. We don't give MVPs to people that lead their teams to 6 seeds. We just don't. Like, you've got to be a better player than that.
He's the best player in the league.
Okay, it's not true.
It's true. He's the most dangerous player in the league.
He's the biggest a-hole. He definitely.
Well, that's part of it.
Sure. So was Jordan.
That's part of it. Kobe was, and Steph is, without a doubt. No, I honestly, Harden's had an amazing season. And either one of those guys can make a claim on the MVP.
Kawhi, look, just the whole defense, because both, honestly, Westbrook and Harden suck for the most part on defense.
Yeah.
And I think Kawhi needs to get some extra level of love for the fact that dude is the best two-way player in the game right now.
He's incredible to watch. I mean, usually watching defense isn't the most exciting thing in the world, but you actually do want to watch him play defense because he's a literal game changer. Yeah. So you got to hand it to him. He's a special player as well.
We got of course, LeBron James. I mean, he's the best player on the planet in the sense of, if you're starting your team right now with any play, you're going to start with LeBron James.
I mean, he's the best actor in the NBA.
Oh boy, we'll see. We'll see with the Space Jam movie, this remake. No. We do have to give a tiny bit of love to Isaiah Thomas, and I say tiny bit because he's a tiny person. What he's doing is incredible, and
absolutely.
I mean, aside the fact of his sister's death, which is tragic, just this last game, I watched him play. It's remarkable what this guy can do at 5'8".
It doesn't make any sense for a player that size in the league today to just do. I mean, he scores at will.
Yes,
it's incredible. You cannot stop the guy if he has in his mind that he wants to score. Now, I will say that there's a bit of controversy that I saw on Reddit today. I sent you the photos.
The free throws.
The series of photos about how he cheats on his free throws.
I have a series of photos that tell me that we didn't land on the moon, but I mean, it's not convincing me.
But I will give him a pass because the guy's incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, he's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
It's been a great season. It's been a great NBA season.
It's really a terrific NBA season, and that's weird for you and I who don't have teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, no kidding. And I was actually kind of dreading this season coming into it just because the whole Golden State powerhouse thing with adding Durant. I thought it was going to be boring.
Oh no!
The season's been amazing.
Everyone up once the Durant trade happened, everyone else just really kicked it up a notch. Obviously, Westbrook.
So. They were inspired. So who's your pick to go all the way?
Golden State.
Now that we've seen.
Oh yeah, Golden State's going to win it all. I don't think it's going to be close. I honestly don't.
Yeah, I think you're right. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I also think they're the funnest team to watch in the NBA. I know you disagree, but I love that team. I love watching that team play basketball, and I realize Draymond has his antics. But, it's fun to watch them play basketball.
It's fun to watch them lose. I'll give you that.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I think Golden State's going to take it. Because Cleveland, I mean, who knows? You know, LeBron is always a factor you have to consider. But, they've just been incredibly unimpressive. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I would agree.
Well, all right, dude. That's our Patreon pod.
Yeah, man. It was good talking to you again.
It's great talking to you, too.
Yes, sir. What do we have coming up this weekend?
So this weekend's interesting. There's not any great movies. It's the weekend after when Guardians actually finally comes out. But this weekend, pulling up the schedule here.
What about, you have any interest in seeing that Free Fire with Brie Larson?
No, because it got pretty bad reviews. But I haven't talked to anyone who's seen it. So that's, I guess, neither. I've never heard anyone who's liked it.
I do like the fact that she's taking over. She's bringing her gun skills from Kong Skull Island, and she's putting it into a new movie. So I don't know if you remember that. She's the one that had the kill shot in Kong Skull Island with the flare gun. Right.
Of course.
So stupid.
Yeah.
Well, she has zero weapons training.
Yeah,
I mean,
not at all.
She's a photographer.
Just a very liberal photographer. There is a movie I am interested in that comes out this weekend. It doesn't have the reviews yet, which tells me that it's probably not going to be good and it'll be rotten. But it's The Circle with Tom Hanks and Emma Watson, John Boyega.
I'm totally down to see that.
Are you? Okay, so let's plan on doing that one for our next episode, and then, of course, we'll hit up Guardians after that.
Right on. Sounds good.
And we'll do Patreon episodes on various topics as well. So.
We got a bunch.
We got a whole list. I'm really excited. Thanks again to Patreon folks for everything you do. You're really awesome, and we really appreciate your support. And Aaron, have a good night. As we say, hold on to your butts.
Thank you for listening to the Brave Little Podcast. Hold on to your butts.